Today, I will be talking about how art, how creating changed me to become a better person, to have a better viewpoint in life. Hi, my name is Kristen, and I'm also known as Catfish Draws. So, I want to start off by saying that this does not only apply to art, this applies generally to creating. I will be talking about my journey into finding this beautiful chapter in life and forever will bring it in every chapter. Let me talk about the very beginning. So, I've always been an artist ever since I was a kid. I've just been influenced by my dad too. I had an eye for art. I loved drawing. I loved painting. So I would draw every day. I would draw a lot of drawings just for fun. But as I grew older, I think I slowly let it go. I don't know exactly what was the reason, but probably just because you grow up and you have other priorities in life. I kind of became a lazy artist, you might say, because I would still draw, but I would draw probably once or twice a year for the reason of school projects. And I would even draw some of my classmates' school projects to help them. And it always turned out good, I never practiced. Like, why do I need to practice when I can draw? Well, I can be satisfied with what I make all the time. And to put context, I tend to draw from reference. I don't draw a lot just from my imagination. I didn't have a very, let's say, rich imagination as a kid, but that didn't stop me from creating good looking art. I always like to go on Google and search up a reference, and then I will draw it, and I always copied it well. Other than that, I was on my senior high school year, and there was this newspaper publication for the university, and I applied. I started drawing a lot for the first time in a while because I had to submit my portfolio. I was a traditional artist, and then I got accepted as an art staff, and I was so excited. It was great. But then as I was reviewing other artists' work on the newspaper, on the publication, I realized that there are a bit more digital artists than traditional artists. And I felt like I wanted to fit in. I want to do digital art too, which isn't the best, but it helped me get into digital art. It was effective enough. And I had an iPad Pro, and I was like, you know what? Let's try it out. So the very first drawing I submitted as an art staff in that publication was a digital artwork, which is so funny to me because that's also my first digital artwork. And it wasn't the best. If I could find it, it's this one. On and on, I just kept drawing digitally. Probably 90% was in digital. And in every drawing I had, I didn't have the best attitude. I didn't have a positive attitude when it comes to making it, because I was the type of artist who would only draw once or twice a year, and if I'm part of a publication, I have to draw more than that in a year, probably once in 3 months or 4 months, I'm not sure. Every time I had to draw, it felt like a chore. I was not motivated to do it, but I still did it. And I'm glad I did it because every single time I finished, I completed an artwork, let's say 11:59 on the deadline. Every time I finished it, I learned so much. Even though I wasn't too satisfied with how it turned out, I had to pass it because of the time, but also I learned so much in every step, in every single drawing, that by the end of my first year as an art staff, my skills has increased. I've never improved this much as an artist in a short amount of time because I honestly used to believe in quality over quantity. But this is when that mindset kind of switched because I realized that when I focus too much on quality, my perfectionism stands in the way that I might as well just stop this drawing because I'm so not satisfied. I might as well give up, or I will hold on to it for too long that it will just feel I might be proud of it, but I will be so burnt out from it and I wouldn't want to draw anymore because of the time that I put how much stress I put into it. Being part of this publication has pushed my boundaries as an artist, and I became selected as the art editor. This time around, I thought I'm better off now, but little did I know, being an art editor would mean more work actually. So I think I went from drawing like once in 3 to 4 months in a year, into drawing once a month, or even sometimes twice a month. I was challenged every time because maybe I would be assigned a poem. I had to draw for a poem or a prose or an article. My art skills has just improved from then on. By the end of the year, I was able to draw artworks that I am so proud of. If I wasn't Catfish Draws, I would have these in my portfolio. I also ended up getting Artist of the Year. That was great too. My main point here is creating pushes your boundaries. I would say being in a publication was part of it, but mostly it was also because of when you are an artist, you get to train yourself to judge your work. Sometimes it would be a bit harsh, but as long as you have a balance, as long as you don't overdo it, it pushes you to create better. And that is what got me out of this kind of like entitled lazy artist who is just basing my skills off of my talent, but not really from hard work, from learning, from studying, or from meaning. So this now goes to my next point, which is in Catfish Draws, I was able to soothe my soul. Little did I know being Catfish Draws would change my art mind even more, my artist mind. It became kind of like a visual diary, like a safe haven. And I feel like a lot of us, especially with the overconsumption of media nowadays, I do believe that whenever someone is not in their best state, they tend to go run to entertainment or social media as a form of escapism. And for me, because I had Catfish Draws, whenever I had something that I was dealing with internally, I would take that and use it as my foundation to express myself through my art, to share in a way that is most intimate to me. I'm not gonna lie, when I look back to the artworks I made before, they weren't the best looking ones, I would say, but they were intimate, and every time I would share them to the world, it's almost as if I was letting go of my feelings. It's almost like a form of releasing it. I got inspired by other artists, and I saw how these artists knew themselves so much that they were willing to share a part of it in the world. What if I do that? I wanted to push my artworks in a way that was inspired internally instead of externally, because that was how I used to draw. I would very rarely draw based off my feelings, my thoughts, and I started doing that to the point that I even decided to remove certain artists' work on my feed, but still follow them because I felt like I didn't want to get back to referencing other artworks or other concepts. I restricted myself from that so that I would take inspiration to what is left, which is me. Inspiration from my own soul. And that is how Catfish Draws soothed my soul. I created this relationship that is so intimate to myself only that I didn't need to look out externally. I didn't crave anymore externally to crave that feeling, that connection to other people. I didn't have to do it anymore because I had my art. I had my creation. And I think that is the best thing you could do for yourself. I always was the type of person who loves deep conversations. I still do. But I realized that from creating art, I was able to do deep conversations with myself as I am creating and expressing myself in my artworks. It was almost like, I'd say, therapy for me. It was my journal, it was my diary. I let it all out there, I release it, and I'm ready for a new thing to express. And at the same time, I became someone who also served others, because I think the artists that I resonate with the most are the ones who are most vulnerable about what they create, what means a lot to them. They create it. And I think me creating vulnerably from my feelings, from my thoughts, from my story, I was able to find people who resonated with it so much. I think a lot of us have this inferiority complex that we are so different from other people, that we are not as good as other people. But the truth is, we are all kind of the same in a way. We all kind of go through similar things. And a lot of us try to hide what we are going through because we feel like we're the only one experiencing it. But as human beings, when we create from our vulnerable self and we give that to the world hears it. People who are just like you that you didn't even know existed, didn't even know that would relate to, they show up because they also were trying to hide that part of themselves. Or maybe they didn't even know and you helped them realize. And that is the power and influence of creating for yourself and people coming along to resonate with it instead of doing it the other way around where you create for people. It is like this abundant passion because you are taking it internally instead of taking it externally with the intention of getting external validation. I think that is the essence of being someone who creates. You are creating from your soul. And I will add on to this how this also impacted me in different aspects of my life. Having this perspective, this relationship with me has made me create my own opinion, my thoughts, the way I view the world. I feel like, again, with the overconsumption of media, a lot of people tend to latch on other people's opinion very easily. I wouldn't want to demonize or see it too negatively what the media we have today. It definitely has become more addictive. But as long as you are following the right people, as long as you are moderately consuming media, I don't think we should demonize consumption. Again, anything that you overindulge in will always be less of an advantage. So when something doesn't resonate with me, even if it is something that is viral, I don't feel the need to be part of the hype. It creates this balance because I feel like when I didn't have this relationship with myself, I tend to depend so much on other people, depend on other people's opinion, depend on other people's time, validation, other people's interests. I never needed that anymore. I never craved it anymore because I was already full of it. This does not only apply to art. Creating in general gives you a sense of purpose, to find fulfillment. It is not bad to consume, but we can't only do that. That is why a lot of art that is made, music, movies, they come from a very deep place. Most of the time, the artist or the creator was in a place where they weren't their best. They were going through something dear to them. Maybe a heartbreak, or maybe madness, maybe rage, maybe love. These feelings are your superpower. If you take from that, even just a little, and create, people will resonate with it. They will see a part of your soul. And I think we all need to kind of see someone's soul. Of course, you don't have to reveal everything. Not everyone deserves to know that part of you. The world has become a bit of a performance. People try to act or try to make themselves perceive as someone they're not because they think it's better. But the truth is, your soul is what shines. If you let your soul shine, people will see that, and you will attract other people whose soul you also appreciate. I think this digital age has led us to kind of disconnect from our souls because we had so many people we could look up to and we try to be like them. But again, the moment I removed the people I look up to the most on my feed, I looked into myself. I think us as humans, especially in this generation, we tend to have low self-esteem. We think we don't have much to offer. Look internally into ourselves. We have so much to offer. The way we perceive things resonate. Our burdens resonate. Our problems resonate because we are all humans. We are all going through something that can be similar, and you create from it. I think that is really beautiful. So that is how creating changed me as a better person and how it can change you too. Maybe this video is a sign for you to start creating from your soul. So thank you so much for watching this video. This type of video is not something I usually make, but it felt right. It felt right to my heart to share it. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you don't have to. Also, thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys help me create the art that I create. I wish you guys all the best love, all the best little things in your life. See you again on the next video. Yeah, bye.